everyone, and welcome to another edition of the Breeze Sports Center podcast. I'm Bradford Ambrose, alongside the Slurpee Chase Kiddy and Wayne Epps Jr., sports editors. And guys, let's start off with men's basketball.
Let's start off with why I'm Slurpee. What was that?
Because you're over there slurping your drink. Okay. So last Wednesday, William & Mary lost to JMU 81-71. Then they went on the road to Drexel, lost at Drexel, and then they beat Towson Tuesday night 75-70. And they are now 3.5 games back. Wayne, Chase, have at it.
Well, what's new? I mean, they won at home and they lost on the road.
Yeah, what's new?
I don't even think we need to say anything.
Well, we can also say that they're going. It's Sunday. They'll play Delaware, and they're also 3.5 games back. So basically,
would you like a prediction on the Delaware game, Bradford?
Sure.
Well, is it here or is it at Delaware?
Well, it's at Delaware.
I think they're going to lose.
All right. I'd probably bet my money on that too. I don't know what it is on the roof.
2-7 so far on the road. Ridiculous.
You know, in JMU's defense, that's kind of how the CAA has gone this year. I don't think that's just been a JMU thing. I think that's been an everyone not named Northeastern thing.
True.
You go on the road, you lose. Doesn't really matter who you're playing. George Mason lost to UNC Wilmington on the road. They lost to other people on the road. You win at home. I don't know. I think a lot of people are making a big deal out of JMU not being able to win on the road, and it's rightfully so, but I don't think it's just a them problem.
Right. So you don't think it's that big of a deal?
I think if they want to be a contender and not a pretender, they need to figure it out.
About why they're not winning on the road?
The thing that fans always think is, the team can't win on the road because it's such a hostile environment wherever they are, or it's not about that. It's about you're out of your comfort zone. It's about breaking the routine. Wayne, you were a high school athlete. I was a high school athlete. When you went on the road somewhere, you didn't feel comfortable. It wasn't your court. It wasn't your field. It wasn't your place that you're used to. You're not used to the bus ride. It's not about, I'm on Prince George's tennis court and there's 17 loud and rousy fans outside. I don't know, I'm making up words, but I mean, you know what I mean.
Right. You don't get all the nice amenities and that feeling of home.
Mm-hmm. And you don't have the loud pep band in the background either. I saw tonight that there's some Towson AD or assistant, some guy said, the Jamie pep band is probably ranked second, and then they had the pep band. He was like, well, who's number one? I didn't see the rest, but
probably George Mason. George Mason's got a really good pep band. I hate to admit it, but I saw on CAA Hoops this year they actually ranked the CAA's pep bands, and it was Mason 1, JMU 2. Yeah.
Wow. All right, so Wayne, what do you think about men's basketball so far? Besides not winning on the road,
right? Well, behind this not winning on the road, the inconsistency with their shooting. Their low shooting percentages continue, especially in the loss against Drexel on Sunday. They shot 38% for the game. They're just 4 for 18 from the 3-point line, and they also were killing the boards 35-26. So they got to fix the inconsistency, because if they can do that at home, they can do that on the road as well. So again, it goes back to the environment thing, I guess, and I guess the more mental thing that the saying always is, sports is more of a mental thing than a physical thing. So
right.
Again, being out of their comfort zone on the road, but that's something they need to rectify, especially coming up here for the CAA tournament. That's not at home either. So they wanted to
very true
to make a statement of that they need to get this figured out in the next couple of games.
I'll give you one stat on why they lost the Drexel game. You only need one stat. They scored 12 points in the first half.
Yeah.
12.
That's
Like less than 13,
like a dozen,
12.
like a dozen.
Like how many roses I'm going to buy on Thursday? 12.
12. Why don't you go and buy 24?
She don't need 24.
Okay. Oh, there's just one.
Well, this isn't the place for me to talk about many ladies in my life.
Men's basketball is 9-5 in the CAA, and the game against Towson in the 75-70 win against Towson, JMU's free throw percentage was 68, while Towson's was 75. And let's see, their field goal percentage was 46%, and Towson's was 43. Now, I think Sunday against Drexel, wasn't it their worst? I think it was like 22% or something. It was like their worst field goal percentage, I believe. Are you going to check on that?
I mean, you do have to shoot pretty poorly to score 12 points and a half.
Yeah.
I've gone to the YMCA and scored more than 12 points in 20 minutes, and I'm, 5'10" on a good day when I'm wearing my heels. So,
well, we were just talking right before we started about Devin Moore. Do you want to elaborate on his little streak he's got going?
Devin Moore, you really can't say enough for the guy. He got fouled a bunch at the end of the Towson game. I believe he shot 10 foul shots in the last few minutes, and he hit 9 of them. And that's really the only reason why JMU won this game. Towson led for most of the second half. JMU had a nice run. And I guess, Towson watched the tape and said, let's put them at the line. They're going to miss a few. And Devin Moore was damn near perfect. I mean, and that's the reason they won. I didn't think
a lot of fouls towards the end of the game.
They really were. It was every 3 seconds there was a foul. And they didn't look particularly crisp on the rebounding, which I can't blame them. Darrell Benjamin leads the nation in double-doubles. Towson has a great front court. It was really one of the best wins that JMU picked up, I think, this year. And it's squarely on the shoulders of Devin Moore that they won that game.
Towson is also 9-5 now. So that's interesting. A.J. Davis still putting out those monstrous dunks.
Right.
Shooting some nice three-pointers, too, in the game. I think it was against William & Mary. It was pretty nice.
Yeah, he did something that I've certainly never done against William & Mary, and that's he shot 70% from behind the arc.
Because my highlights, there was
with 27 points.
Yeah, in my highlights, I know I had consecutive clips, one clip after another, of him shooting from.
It was basically him and Marcus Thornton from William & Mary just getting into shooting contests. They were playing horse and AJ won. That's all it was. And to the earlier stat that you referenced, JMU shot 38% from the field against Drexel, but they shot 22% from behind the arc, 3 of 18.
Okay.
Or
that's where I got that.
So,
okay.
That's not great.
Yeah.
But then again, they were on the road.
They were on the road. On the road again. I bet they hate that song.
I bet Matt Brady plays it for 6 straight hours on long road trips.
But hey!
If they played at Hofstra this year, I bet that would be Matt Brady's cassette tape all the way up. They don't have CDs. They got cassette tape. Matt Brady's old school. He's a shot doctor.
But hey, this makes a nice segue. Guess who's not doing bad on the road?
Well, how many guesses do I get, Bradford?
Well, you get one.
I'm going to guess JMU women's basketball.
Ding, ding, ding. They won against ODU Tuesday night, 68-56. They are now 10-2 in CAA play, 16-8 overall, and head to Hofstra next.
They call that a segue, kids.
Tariq Hislop had 22 points. 18 of those came in the second half. Guys, you want to talk about women's basketball?
Right, Tariq Hislop continues to put the team on her back again. It's like we were saying last couple of podcasts. She's been carrying the team, and the team continues to stay on fire. And it seems like except for the falling against Delaware on Sunday. That's the only team that's holding it back right now. Other than that, it's just them and Delaware, and the rest is kind of falling behind. They played really well against Delaware. It's almost, Chase mentioned, it's almost like the men's game against George Mason. They came really close right at the end. Then Delaware pulled away. Delaware has a really good impact player, Deladon, Elena Deladon, 6'5", just towers over everybody else, and she was really an impact player for them. But again, moving forward, I'm not really worried about women's basketball except for Delaware, so it's probably going to end up being Delaware and JMU in the CAA tournament finals. So, other than that, it's just each game should be an all-win for them unless something trips them up.
Right. Yeah, women's basketball lost against Delaware 71-64. Yeah, I think... Yeah, Delaware ended JMU's winning streak of 8.
Mm-hmm. And I thought Tariq's bounced back Tuesday night against ODU when she went off like she did and like she has quite frequently all season. I thought that was a really nice bounce back performance, and people are going to look at stat sheets and call me nuts because Tariq scored 17 points against Delaware. And, you look at that and think, 17 points, good grief. I mean, there's not much to bounce back from when you score 17 points.
Yeah.
But I watched the whole game, and I actually did not get to see the ODU game on Tuesday night, but I watched the whole game against Delaware, and sure, she scored 17 points, and she shot fairly well. I think she was 8 of 20, something like that. But, her shot selection wasn't great. And I think she knew that because she was a little touchy in the post-game press conference. She was a little touchy when her shot selection came up. So I really liked her to bounce back and really control the flow of the game at ODU, which it sounds like she did. But who had a great game against Delaware was Kirby. Kirby outshot a 2-time All-American in Elena Deladon.
Yeah, Kirby and Deladon were the only 2 players on both teams that played the full game.
And Kirby, who's generally a very reserved player, she doesn't like to show a whole lot of emotion. She's usually kind of cool and collected out on the floor. She does her thing from behind the arc, and she'll drive every once in a while.
Yeah, she was 8 and 10 from free throw line.
Yeah,
and she was 6 and 15.
And especially the free throw line, when the action was kind of stopped and cameras started zooming in, she was very expressive, I think was the word that was used on the Madison feed that I was watching. And I thought that was the perfect word. She had a fire in her, and she was gesturing wildly the whole game. And
Kirby, she really doesn't usually show emotion.
She really doesn't.
Game. But this game, when she scored, points, you could see it in her face. There was one time in my highlights that she fell down and she was like, she was screaming. She was like, "Yeah, let's."
It was cool to see that from her because, one of the great things I always love about sports is watching quiet, reserved players, get in the moment and get all excited and. You look for a word better than hype, but Kirby Burkholder's hype on Sunday.
Yeah, she was.
She could have been perfect on free throws, but I don't want to make excuses for her. But I hurt her hand or wrist at the very end of that game and missed. She was fouled on a 3-point attempt.
Yeah,
missed 2 of those.
Yeah, post-game press conference, she said that someone just fell on it, and she said it was fine. But you kind of have to think maybe it affected her towards the end.
Yeah, even if not physically, maybe mentally.
Yeah.
Taking foul shots, knowing, "Ow, my hand hurts."
Yeah. Yeah, but as soon as I stepped in, I got to the game a little late, the Delaware game. And as soon as I walked in, I scanned the floor to see where Deladon was, because I had never seen her before. And I knew exactly who she was, because she is a monster. She is so tall. And I was like, yep, That's her.
I've played
that's
basketball all my life. My mom played. My grandfather coached it. I've got a really nice turnaround jumper in the elbow.
Oh.
Della Dawn has 7 inches on me. And I don't think if we played to 21 by ones, I would score a point on her.
Probably.
She is very good.
Yeah.
And she is noticeably taller than the rest of her team.
Oh, yeah. And the JMU team, too. It was like...
Every team.
and, let me tell you, JMU was guarding her ass.
They were very good in the first half. I really think the key to the women's game on Sunday was when some of JMU's bigs started getting into foul trouble. They were clearly making an effort, and I believe they denied this after the game. They didn't double team her in the traditional sense of a double team, but they made sure there was always traffic around her to make it hard to get her the ball.
Right.
And she was somewhat contained in the first half. Well, in the second half, Jasmine Butler, I believe, was guarding her for a majority of the first half. She started getting into foul trouble, and that's when you started seeing her go off, when they had to switch to more of the reserves. They had to switch to people like Crystal Ross, who are very skilled offensively, I believe. I'm not Kenny Brooks, and I will never have the knowledge that he has. But I think Crystal Ross has a lot of offensive capabilities. She might not be defensively there yet, and I think Kenny gets on her about that a lot. But, Crystal Ross.
Yeah, this was Delaware.
Kenita Shepard. They did not, I don't think, lock her down as well as she was in the first half. And you could really see her offensively getting in a groove the second half, and that's ultimately why they ended up winning.
And I think Coach Brooks is, he's pleased at where they are right now, and he's trying to set the team up so they play their best basketball once March comes around. That he's trying to work them up to, and he's hopeful. He's,
which is what great coaches do.
Yeah, I mean, and he doesn't, he has every right to be, because I would be too, He told the media after the Delaware game, he's like, we're gonna have to come from a hangover, and that's what they did Tuesday night against ODU by beating them. But the team, he said, the team hates to lose, and they take it hard, but gives them more motivation for the next games.
I think they're getting closer to be playing their best basketball in March as well. Look like they're improving. Like with Kirby playing as well as she did on Sunday, I think you're saying that anybody can step up on any given night for this team. It's not just going to be Tariq moving forward. It's going to be anybody, Precious Hall, Kirby, anybody on this team can be a leader on any given night. So I think that's going to be the hallmark of this team moving forward. That it's going to be a balanced attack, and I think that's going to be good for this team in March.
Which is good because they need people that aren't Tariq and Kirby to be able to score. Precious Hall has definitely had her moments. She's been CAA Rookie of the Year multiple times, or Rookie of the Week multiple times this season. But, she wasn't great on Sunday, but she's been good. I think over the long haul this year, I think Kenita Shepard and Crystal Ross have had their moments. I think Toya Jiggets has had her moments. They need those players to step up and make plays with Nikki Newman out for the rest of the season, because as great as Kirby and Tariq are, they cannot do it all by themselves.
Yeah.
You can pretty much count on 40 from them now. I mean,
yeah.
I think you get 40. I think if you get 35 from the other players that aren't those two, you're going to win most of your games. If not all.
Yeah.
Yeah, the game against Delaware, Toya Jiggets had 36, and Precious Hall had 32 minutes.
Toya Jiggets had a great game.
Yeah.
Against Delaware. Really great.
Alright, so y'all ready to move on
talk about the old ball game. We got baseball and softball starting up here on Friday.
Okay.
Yeah, let's do it. Well, baseball is finished third in the CA preseason rankings. So, you know, they have high expectations for this year. Softball is ranked even higher. They're picked to finish second. And I actually went to go talk to softball new head coach Mickey Dean this afternoon, and also players Heather Keifer and Jasmine Butler, two of the top returners. And they're really trying to focus on themselves. They're trying to find a good frame of mind for this season. They didn't play very well in non-conference play last year. They only lost 5 games in conference, but they finished the season 30 and 26. So they lost the majority of their non-conference games last year. But this year they're trying to focus on. They're trying to focus on the name on their jerseys, JMU, instead of worrying about who they're playing in non-conference play.
Right.
And also now I think the mentality they're taking is next pitch. They're not trying to worry about any mistakes or anything. They're just trying to move on and keep a clear mind, stay relaxed out there, and not really worry about the new system that Coach Dean is bringing in as much, but just relying on their skills. And you know, they seem very optimistic and excited to start the season, and looking forward to seeing how they come out the gate this weekend in Charleston for the Cougar Classic. So,
Chase, any
comment on softball this year?
I got to cover a lot of softball last year, which was kind of cool. It was the first real beat I had after women's basketball. They were a pretty young team last year. It seemed to me that they really came on late and had a nice season. It looked like they carried a lot of momentum into this year. The one player that really stuck out to me, as Wayne mentioned already, was Jasmine Butler. She is your classic power-hitting outfielder. And I really think you're going to see softball build around her this year. Emotionally, I think she is going to really be a powerful center for them to really rally around.
Yep.
Metaphorically and literally, I think they might actually rally around her.
Yeah, she's the JMU career leader in steals, and she's the current leader in career batting average. So she has a definite place in the JMU record books already, and she already has this whole season ahead of her. So it's going to be special to watch to see how she can keep tacking onto those records.
And I was at the game where she broke the all-time steal record, so, you know.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say you're welcome, but I was there.
Yeah.
Just something to think about.
And they also were saying they are going to be trying to steal even more this season and try to incorporate more players into that steal game this year. So she could definitely have another big year in the steals, along with some of the other players as well. So they're going to be trying to be aggressive out there. So, yeah.
All right, and we'll definitely looking forward to their season. Wayne, you're going to have a softball preview.
Right.
Thursday's issue of the Breeze. So look for that.
Yeah, we write stuff.
So y'all ready to move on to baseball?
Sure.
All right, Wayne, what you got on baseball?
Again, like I was saying, they're picked to finish third in the CAA. They start their season on Friday as well. And yeah, they have high expectations. And for the kind of a younger team, so we'll still see how that plays out. But yeah, I think they'll be do pretty well this weekend.
Yeah, I guess this was on purpose. I tell everybody about baseball. Baseball opens their season in Coastal Carolina, which I believe is actually a baseball powerhouse. You wouldn't, if you know anything about Division I sports, you don't really think, ooh, Coastal Carolina, they're a sports powerhouse. But I'm pretty sure they're pretty good at baseball. So I don't know how that's going to go. But after that series, I believe the Dukes have 19 straight home games. So I think I recall somebody telling me at one point, they or maybe it was something they told Wayne, that they really wanted to have a big, long homestand and kind of build up some confidence because, like softball, it's kind of a younger team. You know, they want to help the players find their place on the team before they go back out on the road and have to deal with conference stuff.
Right.
So, I think that's definitely going to be something to watch and reflect on later this season, is how that humongously long stretch of games helped or didn't necessarily help them get toward, do they finish third? Do they return to the peak of JMU baseball, the powers that once were when I was a younger man?
Mm-hmm. Oh, Lord. Younger man.
Hey, I'm getting up there.
All right, and
I turned 22 last Friday.
Congratulations.
Got a card from the AARP in the mail.
Oh, yeah?
Yep.
Wow.
Future membership. We're getting them early these days.
Congratulations. It's a real accomplishment.
It's more my parents' accomplishment if you think about it, but
Yeah, it's true. Okay. Yep. All right, so column this week. What are you writing about?
I do have a column this week, as I do every week.
Every Thursday.
Every Thursday, which some people cannot seem to figure out. But I have a column every Thursday. This week it will be on the Paterno and Free reports. I, like many other members of the media, I was pretty much done with the whole Paterno thing.
Mm-hmm.
And then, the Paternos want to go publish another report about it. So let's talk about it some more. And, you want my take on it? Check out Thursday's issue of The Breeze. Maybe there'll be some more Katherine Heigl jokes in there for all you fans. I know you appreciate those.
All right, so sports. You have softball preview.
Right.
Stephen will have a men's basketball recap.
Right. Stephen Prophet, shout out.
And, great guy. Covers men's basketball like no other.
Writes for my blog on occasion.
And Chase's blog.
Also, a club ice hockey feature should be coming in. That's going to be very interesting. You definitely want to read that. Believe it or not, Jamie has a club ice hockey team.
And they practice in Charlottesville.
Yeah, so if you didn't know about that, that's probably why. And they play in Charlottesville as well. So their home games are in Charlottesville. So you find out more about that.
And I went to high school with the captain.
Find out more about that on Thursday.
Congratulations again.
More of an accomplishment for him.
Alright, guys, you can check out all those stories in Thursday's issue of The Breeze. And you can also check out videos from the Breeze Video Department at breezejmu.org as well. Anything else you want to add before we end this edition of the Breeze Sports Center?
I want to see AJ Davis on Sports Center.
Yeah.
We're about to watch him now, I guess.
Yeah.
Alright, guys. Thanks for listening to this edition of the Breeze Sports Center podcast.